Alright guys, in this video we're going to go over the Demon Hunter build, and if you've watched the video that we had uploaded before for 2.0.4, 2.0.3, it's basically a reload of that build. So if you've seen it, feel free to go ahead, skip on, check out some other videos, some other builds that are out there. In this one we're going to reload it for those that haven't seen it, and we're also going to discuss the defensive abilities and the acknowledgement of the survivability, and look at a couple things that we'll talk about with our passive abilities, and go over a couple of the patch notes. As far as the build goes, we're going to run Entangling Shot with Justice is served. This does 200% weapon damage, and it'll latch on to a couple other enemies, slowing their movement, which is really good for defensive purposes. With Justice is served, this increases the hatred generation to 6. And Entangling Shot's damage turns into fire. Now, all of our skills we're going to try and get as fire because our main attack is fire, and we're going to be running a lot of gear that has the increased fire skill damage. Your main attack, Cluster Arrow, you've probably seen this by now. We're going to run this with Loaded for Bear. Increase the damage of the explosion at the impact to 770% weapon damage as fire. This will pop off a couple extra grenades at the end that do additional damage as well. This is your main attack. It does a ton of damage. This is going to be your main focus when going through. You're going to be running basically 2 active skills to do damage, and we'll go over this here in a second. As far as your other skills go, I'm running Vault. This allows you to get away, and we're running this with the Tumble rune here. After Vault, your next Vault within 6 seconds has its Discipline cost reduced by 50%. So this is good if you're trying to get out of there. 1 Vault's good, 2 Vaults are better. And if you need to, chain these back together, this is a good survivability. You can get out of different, tough circumstances. If you're surrounded by stuff, you can just kind of vault out real quick. I run this normally, and we'll go over a couple other defensive ones. For the next one, this is one that you're going to stick to. Preparation, this helps you get back, with the rune here, restore 75 hatred for 25 discipline. And this takes away its cooldown as well. And the main thing about this is that if you're going to pop off some shots, which you'll see the hatred thing go there, you'll hit that, lose a little bit of discipline, and get your hatred back. And that's what that's there for. It's a hatred builder, the same as your main attack, but it saves you from having to do that. It doesn't interrupt skills, so that's one to stick to. And with this costing hatred, that's where everything's going to be. So you can, shoot, run it again, and depending on what gear you have, that might come up a little bit quicker. For the next one, I run this in lower torments. I won't run this in higher torments just because the extra damage just isn't worth it. The survivability is a little low, which was acknowledged by Blizzard in the patch notes, and they are working on that, which is good. I wish it was a little quicker. One of the skill that we're going to run is Smoke Screen with Healing Vapors. This allows you to disappear for 1 second and regenerate 15% life when invisible. So this allows you to heal up for 15% of your life instantly. It does use 14 discipline. You can actually chain this back together so long as you have it. For the purposes of this video, we do have Vengeance, which, with the rune here, you gain 10 hatred per second, and the side guns, you gain 4 additional piercing shots for 60%. And then you get some rockets that shoot out, and you just do a bunch of additional damage there. It's 15 seconds. This is your big cooldown that you'll use for bosses and elites and stuff like that. But if you run in higher torments, you're probably going to want to stick with Smoke Screen. And your 3 abilities here are basically going to be defensive skills. Next, for the companion ability, I'm currently running the Bat. When you we'll click on this, so again, this is another one to build up hatred. So you blow through some hatred, you run your Bat, it's active, and you instantly generate 50 hatred. And that's good. It's only a 30-second cooldown, but it is a good one to have. And so you can chain these together pretty quickly. The Bat's going to do 60% of your weapon damage, but the other thing is it grants you 1 hatred per second. So you're trying to get all these hatred builders to use your main attack, which does a ton of damage, and it all comes full circle this way. So that's the purpose of that. A lot of people run the Wolf Companion, which is okay. You've got the extra damage there. So there are a lot of things. It's 30% increased weapon damage for 10 seconds. This is almost like a mini cooldown. Again, it's still 30 seconds. Plus he's going to do a little bit of damage there as well. There are some items out there to where you can run 3 wolves. There's another set bonus out there to where you get all of your companions out. So there's a lot of cool stuff, and they address that in the patch notes. The collision boxes should match their size, is what they said, because a lot of these things are running into each other, and there's just no way for those to all get in there and attack. So it almost didn't make it worth it in certain situations. As far as our passive abilities go, Blood Vengeance. Your max hatred is increased by 25. In addition, gain 30 hatred and 3 discipline when you are healed by a health globe. So we've got this, and we'll go over this here in a second because this is going to couple together with another item that you're going to look for. But you run over the health globe. Let's say you're in somewhere, you vault over there, you grab it, and you instantly have 30 hatred back. This is a good one to have, you know, when you're trying to get out there. Archery. This gives you 5% crit hit chance if you're running a one-handed crossbow, which in this instance we are. And we're also running a second-hand crossbow, which is 1 hatred per second. And I found this to be a little bit more effective. I know there are some good quivers out there. I actually have one in my stash we'll take a look at real quick. This has almost perfect crit hit chance. It has perfect attack speed. It has a fairly low dexterity roll, but we got this. I'm holding on to this in case they ever do something with bolas that might be a little bit more effective, since this allows them to explode instantly. So hold on to some of the items. The same for this. I haven't socketed this, but this allows you to have 3 wolf companions at one time. So that might be another reason why you're running the wolf there, because they do a decent amount of damage. So these are things to consider. This here, they actually buffed this with the patch. I'm not sure if there was any notes out there about it or not, but this didn't do as much damage before today. I'm certainly not going to complain that it does do more damage, but this is one here, and I'm running the other one-hander here. If I could find one with more damage, that would be great. And we'll go over the gear here in a second, but running the 2 one-handers there, it kind of, you know, we've got the crit hit chance, and then we've got the hatred per second. The next passive, critical hits have a chance to restore 1 discipline, and so again, preparation is going to use discipline. So when you're popping that, you know, and you're critting all these chances, and right now I'm at 50% basically. So we've got all these things, we crit a bunch, and then, you know, that's going to build the discipline right back up, allow us to run preparation a lot, which is going to build our hatred back up, and continue to just fire off all of our cluster arrows. So these 3 are, these 2 are definitely staples. You could probably run something different than archery, but for the sake of this video, that's what we're going to do. The last one here, right now I'm currently running Ambush. This does 40% additional damage to enemies above 75% health. This actually allows me to run around and one-shot stuff on lower Torment levels. When you get to higher Torment levels, you're going to need more survivability. And again, they are addressing that. I wish there were some better options out there, but we've got Perfectionist, and right now we're at 5 million toughness, just over. And if we switch this over, Perfectionist reduces the discipline cost of all skills by 10%, which isn't bad. And that will help us out, you know, offensively as well, and possibly defensively when we're running Vault and these other items. But it also increases your life, armor, and all resist by 10%. So if we switch this over, we go from 5 million to 6.1 million toughness, and that, you know, is good overall value there. It adds, you know, a little bit of toughness. I mean, that was a pretty significant amount. And so that's a pretty good thing to have around when you're running higher torments. The other thing that they patched today was awareness. And this now increases armor by 30% of your dexterity, which is okay. I have 7,500 dexterity, and if we run this, we'll switch this over. And again, we had 5 million before, and now we're at 6.3 million. So this does add the a little bit more toughness. And it switches our armor up to 75-25, and it decreases, you know, damage by 68.25%. And if we go back, we'll see that that damage reduction is at 60%. So that's about an 8%, you know, damage reduction increase. So that does help quite a bit. I still prefer to go with Perfectionist. You don't have as much toughness, but that extra discipline reduction does pay off in the long run as you're running through a rift. For the sake of this video, I'll leave it on Ambush, and we'll go over the gear real quick, and after that we'll do some gameplay. Like I said, all of our attacks are going to be fire skills, and these are some of the items you're going to want to look for. Mage Fist, this increases fire damage here, this one by 16%, that's a good one to have around. I got the trifecta roll on there with a decent dexterity roll. Vile Ward, I believe I got these from Kadala. These are, you know, a huge defensive thing for me. I got a decent roll on those guys. And Dariel's Visage, fire skills deal 19% more damage. A little bit low on the dexterity. The attack speed was only 5%, unfortunately. And currently I'm running a socket. I would love to have the crit hit chance, but right now I need the extra life. I need the extra toughness. So we're going to leave that in there with the life rune. Here we're running the HotA Vaxo. This has the extra fire skill damage, dexterity, and then our crit hit chance and crit hit damage. Here's the one you're probably going to want to look for the most. This has fire skill damage by 17%. I've got dexterity, I've got resistances, and then I've got 3 sockets. But the main part is the secondary, which reduces the resource cost of fire skills by 27%. And that 27% is just what I rolled on it. And the main reason that's important is because the cluster arrow costs 40 hatred, and if we're reducing that by just over a quarter, now it's costing 30 hatred. And that can also go in hand with you know, resource cost reduction here and some other things that we're running. So that's a good one to have. That's definitely highly beneficial. Here's the one you're probably going to want to look out for. When you're crafting items and you're looking for stuff that might benefit your character the most, this is probably one of the better ones for a Demon Hunter, at least in my opinion. Fire skill damage, I got that roll on there. I got dexterity, I got vitality, and I got a max crit hit chance. And this is a pretty good roll. I didn't have to enchant it or anything. But again, in the secondaries, health globes restore 26% of your primary resource. And you'll remember we had Blood Vengeance, which also restored hatred. And so we've got this. You couple that together, and you know, health globe will boost your hatred right back up. So that's a good thing. Once you get playing, you get used to the build. You can run Vault. So let's say there's, you know, like a health globe over there. You're low on hatred. You got a little bit of discipline. You just tumble over. You pick up a health globe, and there you go. And next thing you know, you've got quite a bit of hatred, and you can continue attacking. So that's a good one to have. The crafting material, if you got the plan, great. They boosted that, so hopefully if you don't have it, you'll be getting that soon. The crafting item actually drops off Malthael. You can farm it at any level. It doesn't just have to be Torment, so you can go in there and farm him up a bunch until you get that, and that's a good one to look out for. Our belt is another crafted item. This one has increased attack speed. I got a 6 on it. The other stats were fairly decent. I've got those on there. This increases the attack speed, which is going to increase our damage. Pants are Blackthorns, defensive purposes only. Would like a second piece if it could go hand in hand with the boots here. I've had a hard time replacing these boots. I've got decent dexterity and vitality roll for the yellow item here. I've got all resist, but the main thing is I've got the increased cluster arrow damage by 15%. So I continue to hold those on because those are going to increase the damage the same as the fire skills here. Our rings, we're just running the simple trifecta on each of these. And again, like I said, the weapon here, this wasn't doing as much damage. This is another crafted one. It's definitely worth checking out. I believe the crafted item on here is Isuel in Act 4. Hope I got that right, and I believe that's where you get the crafting material for him to make this item. So if you got the plan, like I said, if you don't have either of these plans yet, hopefully it'll be showing up soon with the increase that they have and all that. And then this is just one that we picked up as far as the drop. I've got the reduce all resource cost by 8%, which also helps as well. So that's our gear. That's where we're at, sitting at as far as you know, our damage goes. And we'll do a little bit of gameplay. Guys, if you liked the video, feel free to hit the like button below. I definitely appreciate that. Go ahead if you want to subscribe. We're going to be doing some more videos with the new patch. We're going to be addressing a lot of the changes on some of the other builds. And we'll do some follow-up videos with those. But we're going to do a little bit of gameplay if you want to stick around and see how this build is in action. We are in Torment 2. I don't have a group on right now to show much gameplay. If you want to look at the Paragon points, dexterity, we're stacked there. As far as these, I've got crit hit chance just because that's where I'm going to get the most damage. Crit hit damage and then attack speed. Defensively, I've got resist all, I always head there. I got a little bit of life regeneration. 2 points, not going to affect me much, but we'll go ahead and make that 3. That's where we're trying to get some defensive stuff. Life on hit, I will max this out when I'm running higher torments. When I'm just farming around, I'll put a little bit on, and then I'll run resource cost reduction. So feel free to you know, mess around with those points as they see fit. It's going to depend on your gear and what stats they have, but that's just kind of like a base set. I do have another video out there if you're looking to figure out where you need to put Paragon points. There is one as well, and it'll be down in the description below. Until next time, guys, happy hunting. Feel free to stick around and watch the video, and thanks for watching.
Pull up with your grill, peel, slice, motherfucker, I'ma carve you up real nice. Get nothing but that, fucking make your chest. You fuck with me, you fucking with the black.